Hello, and welcome to Every Day is Funny, the meditative morning show about newspaper comics. And this is really it, the end of Garfield's The 2004 movie and my 10-chunk review. We made it. Things seemed grim, but we got there. And there's really not much to discuss. I thought there was still going to be 10 minutes or so of the movie left, but it turns out that there was like 9 minutes of credits, so there was only about like 3 minutes of actual screen time to watch. And it really just kind of ends suddenly. There's still a few things to talk about. We'll get to the comics in just a second. My favorite thing about this final 10 chunk, which is pure epilogue, because yesterday we had already seen all of the action play out and the villain get defeated. But it does open very funny because we see the Happy Chapman, the villain's brother, the more legitimate news anchor. And he's like, we have a scene developing in the Midwest. And then he cuts to a reporter to say what's going on in the scene. And this news reporter doesn't give any sort of preface of why she's there. Like no sort of preamble. She just goes, it appears a deranged man might be the cause of all the trouble here. It's like, set the scene. Where are you if you're watching the news? It's like, what are we watching? We just cut to a random train station and you say it appears a deranged man might be the cause of all the trouble here. What's the trouble? We got nothing to latch onto. You're a terrible reporter and anchor. So I know that wasn't the reason. The reason was just to have the brother react to his deranged brother getting arrested, which could have been played for more laughs, could have been played funnier. Instead, we just get an incompetent news reporter, and that's not supposed to be the focus of the scene at all, but I found it very striking. So there's that. But then, that's pretty much it. The neighborhood grows to love Garfield because he was a hero and got featured on the news. John loves him. Everybody loves him. It's terrific. Then John and Liz have a final moment together where John says, you're a good friend, which he's really trying to cock-block himself there. How do you go on like such a marvelous misadventure with the woman you love and all this crazy stuff happens and you're still not adrenaline-fueled enough from all that action to just kiss her or be honest? After all that, you'd be like, you're a good friend. It's like, dude, there were some high stakes that just happened. Y'all bonded like a mother. It's like, how do you not just kind of come out and say it by the end? The worst that happens is she rejects you. You got your pets back, all your life's back in array. Like, who cares? She'd understand. It's a high-octane moment for the two of you. But then she says she wants to be more than his friend. Would have been very funny if they cut to like an NC-17 thing after she said that. But they just kiss and then that's pretty much it. John, Liz, Odie, and Garfield sit in the final shot and watch an old movie on the couch, and they're all together, and everything's great. And then you do get a weird Garfield shot at the very end of him singing and dancing to I Got You by James Brown, which made me just imagine Bill Murray kind of half-assing that in the voice recording studio, which was funny to think about. I wonder if there's footage of that. And that's it. He does the splits as he dances to James Brown and credits. No after credits scene, which was upsetting. It feels primed for more like food debauchery because we didn't get a ton of lasagna stuff. But that's the 2004 Garfield movie. I'm holding pretty firm at a 3 out of 10. Just because, Bill Murray has the right kind of whatever attitude for the character, but it's just not funny enough. The script is not funny enough. The villain's not interesting enough. There's a lot of potential with this character, and I think they kind of botched it. So that was 8 days worth of content and show for me to say, Let's get to the comics. All right, how about some Todd the Dinosaur? For some reason in black and white today. I guess the illustrator couldn't find the time. Add in a few colors. That's all right. Anyway, Todd's human friend is hanging by the pool reading a book. I didn't know him to be much of a reader. From out of frame, I assume we hear Todd the dinosaur saying, "Oh great, just great. There's too much chlorine in this pool." The human friend says, "No, there's not." Todd says, "Yes, there is. There's so much chlorine in this pool that now I have a swimmer's ear." He responds, "Chlorine doesn't do that." Todd comes up and says, "I mean, now I have that swimmer's ear." What? Someone screams from off in the distance, "Ah," and the human friend says, "Okay, that's a lot of chlorine." And Todd's holding a human ear. Now I understand why maybe they didn't want to color it in. They would need a lot of blood red, and maybe that's kind of disconcerting for a Sunday comic strip. So perhaps best just not to color it all. I'm confused. Are they insinuating that the chlorine took the swimmer's ear off, or Todd just ripped the swimmer's ear off and used chlorine as an excuse? Why do they have Todd around? Thankfully, this strip doesn't have to do with food today, and more of him being kind of a monster. I think he just ripped the ear off. Man, that's gotta be a lot of pressure and stress for Todd's human friend to have to stand by him every incident after incident, and you finally go to the pool and try and just read a book, and then the dinosaur friend is there just ripping people's ears off. That's gotta be tough to justify and explain. Because if a friend does something bad, you want to still be a friend, but at what point do you sit him down, have a talking to, I get you're a dinosaur, but you can communicate, which means you can understand human empathy. You should probably change a bit, stop ripping people's ears off. I love you, Todd, but you can't keep using the dinosaur thing as an excuse to cause carnage just because you hate chlorine. It seems like he ripped the man's ear off because he's frustrated about the amount of chlorine in the pool. Which, if he's gonna do that for that small of a thing, what's he gonna do if someone cuts him off in traffic? I actually don't think he has the arm length to drive a car, but you know what I mean. I wonder what Todd's friend is reading. Probably How to Get Rid of Your Dinosaur Friend. That's sad. Alright. Mary Worth. Wonder if we're still gonna get more of Wilbur's weird dream sequence where he's a fish and he's chasing his dead goldfish Stellan in his dream, because it's clearly the thing he loved most in life, more than his friends, his daughter, his other fish that is still very much alive that he can't seem to focus on. No, it's all about the dead one. You want what you can't have. Alright, he's still asleep. He's talking in his sleep. He says, "The ocean's not as cold as I thought." Headline, "As Wilbur Dreams." We see him as a fish saying, "Stellan." Stellan responds, "Dad." Oh my God. Stellan keeps talking to him. "Thanks for the good life you gave me. I appreciate it." Wilbur responds, "My pleasure. How are you now?" Stellan says, "I'm happy and among friends. Gotta go." Oh my God. Wilbur awakens Alright, Wilbur's awake. He sheds a tear, says, "Ah, goodbye, Stellan." He looks maniacal in this last frame. The combination of his face, the lighting, that single big-ass teardrop, it's frightening. He had to wake up to, that was so passionate of a dream, it awoke him. Oh my God. Is this though the final, it seems like maybe that's what he needed? He needed Stellan in the dream to say, you don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm among friends. I'm in a school of fish. It was odd that you were worrying about me this much to begin with. I don't know if it's sweet or alarming that Wilbur believes in fish heaven. Because if there's one thing this dream is telling me, yeah, this is metaphorical, but I think Wilbur really needs to know that Stellan is has a soul and his soul is out there in the ether somewhere doing well. I think he genuinely needs to believe that and does believe it. I love how even Dream's dead Stellan is like, hey, I'm doing all right. I gotta go. I don't want to be talking to you too long. Move on with your life. I have friends and I'd like to hang out with them and not hang out with the creepy, glasses-needing, balding fish when I have a school of cool fish to hang out with, and you really shouldn't even be thinking about me this much. It's alarming. Pops. I love that he calls him Dad. Man, the final image is just so frightening. I highly recommend, if you're not looking at this comic, to go check it out and just look at Wilbur's face in the bed as he awakens and cries. It's nightmare fuel, to be honest. All right, Rex Morgan, we got to get to it because this is a biggie. Corey has gone into the room of Randy the bully and seen him looking awful, bandaged up, kind of on death's door looking. And Randy the bully saw him and said, Beanpole? So they're about to have some sort of conversation about what happened. All right, here we go. We will get to that, I see, but first, Aunt Judy goes to Parker's room. She says, I brought your old glasses and a change of clothes so you can be ready to go when the doctor discharges you. Parker says, great. Thanks, Aunt Judy. Was Corey not able to come today? Aunt Judy says, oh, he's here. Should be along any time now. Meanwhile, headline, Corey has sneaked into Randy's hospital room. He looks at Randy all bandaged up. He says, geez, this is really terrible, Randy. Randy says, so, you here to make fun of me, Beanpole? Corey says, no. I mean, I'm still mad about you hurting Parker, but you didn't deserve to get beat up like this. Nobody does. Randy says, I don't need your pity, you weirdo. Get out. Corey says, didn't mean to upset you. I don't like to see anybody get hurt. Randy says, sure, whatever, just go away, you creep. Corey says, okay, maybe we can talk about all this later. Randy says, get out. Wow. I thought that was going to go maybe a little differently, although I'm not surprised. I kind of, once again, am agreeing with the bully. Like, yeah, I get that you're mad about me hurting Parker, but not the time. Pick and choose your battles. Know when something's a good idea and when you are just honestly agreeing, looking like a creep. Or it's like, maybe we could talk about this later. Like, yeah, why don't you get out of here? I don't have an eye right now, so maybe not the best time for you to sneak into my hospital room when I'm very vulnerable. It's true, though, if you can't talk to him in this scenario, though, when are you going to be able to talk to the bully? He's still getting annoyed, yelling at him to get out. At least Corey tried, I guess. I still don't know if it's a great idea, but I wonder if this is going to get back to Parker. Or if Parker's going to, find them and walk into the room. Will Corey leave? Or will he stay and try and hash things out with the bully? I'm going to theorize that he's going to stay. I don't think he's just going to leave and have that be it. I think they're going to have a real heart-to-heart. That's my guess. We'll see. All right, let me think of a comment. All right, I'm continuing this string of unintentional disses by Corey. He's going to say, this is awful. Nobody deserves this, Randy. You look awful. And Randy says, get out. Corey says, it's just a shame. First your dad didn't love you, and now all these scars will keep any women from loving you too. You're done for socially. It's just terrible. Send. All right. Time to wind down for this Sunday, July 28th. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. And remember, every day is funny.